Hey everyone. One of our clients came to us because they were using Lighthouse 360 for reviews, and the reviews that didn't go to Google or Facebook went to ratemybiz.com. And recently, ratemybiz.com decided that they're not going to be working with Lighthouse. All of a sudden, this client lost 1,000 reviews. So we were able to get them back through Lighthouse, but I started looking for a service that would help get first party reviews, which means you own the review. So if that way in the future, if any of these sites that we all use for reviews, Facebook, Google, if any of those sites stop using, so I started look, so I started looking for a service that would help us get first party reviews, meaning that you own the review. So that way, if in the future any of the sites that we all use for reviews, such as Google and Facebook, decide that they're going to stop sharing the reviews or that they're not relevant anymore because I don't know, everybody has 5 stars for everything, and Google says, you know what, we're not going to use reviews anymore, have a good day, then you lose all of those reviews that you spent years, sometimes maybe even, a decade building up. So what I'm going to show you here is GatherUp.com. Now, I'm using this for Short Hills Design. You all know me well enough to know that I would not recommend a product that I don't use myself or know well enough that, someone else is using. So, so, so this is what the back end looks like from my perspective, and this would be the perspective of the business, not the perspective of the user, obviously. So the key here is that stop. So this is what the inside of GatherUp looks like. Here's a screenshot, and I have a live shot later on. But this is a screenshot of what the business area looks like. So for Short Hills Design, here's my business, and I haven't sent any requests yet. And I've got 5 Google reviews, and we imported them. And so when you look at and GatherUp gave me these slides. When you look at this, there's basically 3 parts of it that I like, and you can choose whether or not you want to try this or not. So there's no pressure here. That what you'll do is you want to get the reviews, and they do it with email requests, text. There's auto tagging, which we'll talk about. You can get an email when your reviews when there are reviews, and you can monitor and answer Google's question and answer. You've also got management, which is pretty cool because what the management does is this also, and I'll show you in a minute, lets you get feedback, and you can choose not to post that feedback. So you can get an insights report. Stop. So there's also the manage So there's also the manage aspect of it, so you can see what's going on with your reviews. You can view reporting, which I like. You can see again what's your average score, obviously, but you can search and filter and say, which I'm going to show you in a video, that shows you show me all of the reviews that say veneers, or show me all the reviews that say, let's say they say David, and oh well, I want to see all the reviews that show David in it, so you can see those reviews because you might want to put that, on my bio page. The reviews that say David will put on the David page. So you can also get feedback. We're going to look at something called the Net Promoter Score, which is a 0 to 10 ranking that's private just for us, you as the business to see. You can actually really get an idea of what clients are doing or patients, and you can separate feedback from reviews. So that way, you get the feedback, because the feedback, in my opinion, is the most important part. We all think that we run the best business in the whole world, and every client should be thrilled with us because we're the best. And obviously, that's not true. And so really getting honest feedback from clients, myself included, and it's scary asking people for reviews and getting feedback because you don't want to hear that you're not perfect. But only by hearing that feedback are you able to improve upon it. And then marketing, yeah, there's a really cool review widget that you have that lets you display these reviews, and some other widgets that let you, again, promote the reviews that you have, which I'll show you. So in the gathering department, as we said, you can do email, text, you can put it on your iPad, and there's review widgets, and there's ways to gather the reviews. You can put a link in your email, you can hand out a link, so it's pretty easy to do. So there's 3 modes that they have. There's direct mode, we're going to go back, review mode, and ultimate mode. So direct mode is pretty straightforward. They get an email, and they click the link, and it says here, review us on Google or wherever else you have links, and give feedback. So it says if you prefer to leave feedback directly, please do that. And so hopefully the idea is that if they're angry, they're going to give you feedback and not leave a review. Now, review mode. Now, what review mode does, it takes a step up. So whereas here in direct mode, you just had this review link. Again, this is mobile and this is a desktop or tablet. What you're doing is here in step one, they're saying, hey, please give us a ranking of 1 to 10. How likely would it be that you would recommend a friend? That stays private and that stays with you. And, I want to know. And that's really important to know that. And so over here, then it says to you, one last favor, could you give us a quick online review so your customers can hear about it? And then direct feedback, hopefully giving the hint that, well, if this is not something that you're happy about, give us direct feedback and don't write a review. You can't say that because of Google's policies. You're not allowed to gate reviews or to say, well, listen, if you had a terrible time in our practice or in our service business, don't tell anybody. But certainly gives them an opportunity to give you direct feedback and not necessarily, hopefully, go through the effort of posting a review and then, you can still get that feedback and be within Google's terms of service. The ultimate mode is great because what the ultimate mode does is the ultimate mode, you basically get a net promoter score here. And based on what that score is, like if they get, I think it's something like you can set it 7 to 10, then it's going to say, thank you so much. Can you leave feedback? Then here, can you, write us a review? Whereas here, if you get a 2 or something, it's going to say to you, send feedback, but you could also make it say, there's another, I have it coming up later. I think I have it. Yeah, I have a slide here. It's this slide. So, if you're not happy, direct feedback. So certainly they can still write a review, but, we hope that they go to direct feedback or nothing first. But listen, direct feedback is helpful, so I'd like to have it. But that would be, that's the idea, to make it easier for them to give you feedback versus writing a review on Google or Facebook or whatever social sites you have linked. But at least it gives you an opportunity to try and head that off and doesn't violate Google's terms of service. So we looked at those modes. Yeah, you can sort and filter reviews. So I have a video here that I did. Let's take a look at that. Right now, I'm using GatherUp.com for Short Hills Designs reviews. And I figured at this point, I would show you what the business end looks like. From my perspective, from your perspective, what it would be as the business owner. And my key for using GatherUp, and I think I will keep using it for Short Hills, is that all of the reviews go to me first. And then I can decide whether or not we're going to push to Google or to Facebook. And the instructions are there for the user to do that. But no matter what happens, I, A, have a copy of all my reviews, and B, I can download them all if ever I needed them, even from Google and from Facebook, because in the process you sync it up. So here's the customer activity list where you can see the list of the reviews that people have given you. You can export that to CSV or PDF, so you always have a copy. And note that these would be Google reviews that I'm exporting. You can then use all sorts of filters by rating types, by activity, and each customer is an individual person, meaning whether it's a patient or a client, one patient equals one customer. So let's take a look at now how the feedback section works. So depending upon what you want to do, there are a number of ways that you can request the review. So if you come here on the left and click request mode, it's going to go through the 3 modes that exist for making requests. And we've looked at those, and we've looked at those, and we've looked at those 3 modes before. So other features that I think are pretty cool that we'll run through just in a minute. You've got the review widget that I talked about, which I like. It's pretty. I'll show you. You've got auto tagging. So that means if you are selling multiple services, whether that might be, if you're an attorney and you are doing divorce work and you're doing patent work and you're doing copyright work, you can tag the reviews so that on your patents page, you're just listing the reviews that specifically talk about patents. And on your, divorce or on your contracts page, you're talking about, you can show just the reviews that talk about contracts. You can respond to Google Q&A through the system. You get notifications when you get a review. You can reply to reviews in the software. So when you log into the backend, which you'll have access to, you are able to reply to the reviews, which is great. You don't have to, log into Google to do it. And you can back up your reviews, which I think is incredible. So here's just an example of, you can make these social media graphics. Over here, you can basically send this and so here's an example of just a way that you can make your reviews look nice with the social option if you want. Then over here, here's the review widget. So the review widget lets you pick I'm using this one on Shortell's Design to show you, how you want to display the widgets. Then you can also do a badge that shows reviews. And management here, they talk about auto tagging. So you wind up having tags in here, and you can pick tags, but it will auto tag. So in this case, it's showing you that, there are, anybody who talks about tacos, they were using a taco restaurant. But anyone who shows tacos, those reviews are going to get gathered there because they're all tagged with tacos. And then over here, this is just showing you that I'm doing auto tagging with web design and auto tagging the keywords. I pick web design, and it's going to look through reviews also to see what other tags are there. We talked about negative reviews. So what I'm doing right now, so this is month to month with no commitment. So what I'm doing is a pilot program for $199 a month with no setup fee before June 1st. And what I'll do for you for free as part of this with no setup is I'll help you link the review sites. I'll set up the widgets for you. I'll back up all the reviews for you and give them to you, obviously. And I will show you how to get into the system so you can manage your own reviews. After June 1st, once everything is up and running and I've streamlined it, it'll be $150 a month with a one-time $150 setup fee. So if you're interested in the system, let me know. If not, that's great, but it exists and we're using it. And so if you have any questions, as always, please let me know. But I think this is a good product. Otherwise, I wouldn't be taking your time telling you about it. And as always, please let me know if you have any questions. And thank you again.